All right, guys, some shocking news comes out today as the Pentagon has halted meetings and exchanging information with the Joe Biden transition team. Now, this has shocked the political world because it was unexpected. It seems like the Biden team was blindsided by it, at least that's what they're saying, and that the Pentagon is essentially saying that this was mutually agreed upon, but some people in the Pentagon are saying they were surprised as well. Now, leftists are furious about this because they believe that this is just another attempt by President Trump to basically kneecap the Biden administration before he takes office, if he takes office, of course. And people on the right are looking at this as a sign that the Trump administration has evidence or has found reason to say that Joe Biden is compromised, and that because he may be compromised, it is no longer safe to continue to transition over potentially sensitive information to the Biden transition team. Now, this comes off the tails of what people are calling one of the most extensive hackings and security breaches of U.S. government agencies in recent history. Now, some people say that Russia did it. Some people saying that China did it. Right now, it seems that the mainstream media storyline is that Russia is behind the hackings. But as more information comes out about that, I'm sure I'll probably be talking about it sooner than later. But in regards to the Pentagon halting the meetings with the Biden transition team, I think Axios has a great article that can give us a clue in terms of why this might be happening. But before we get in that, my name is Greg Foreman and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a leftist worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. Let's get it. All right, guys, let's head over to this Axios article and see what we can find. All right, guys, here we are. So this is the scoop. The Pentagon halts Biden transition briefings. Acting Defense Secretary Chris Miller ordered a Pentagon-wide halt to cooperation with the transition of President-elect Biden, shocking officials across the Defense Department, senior administration officials tell Axios. The latest, Biden transition director Yohannes Abraham contradicted the Pentagon's official response to this story on Friday afternoon, telling reporters, quote, "Let's be clear, there was no mutually agreed upon holiday break." Quote, "In fact, we think it's important that briefings and other engagements continue during this period as there's no time to spare, and that's particularly true in the aftermath of ascertainment delay." Abraham continued, referring to the Trump administration's delay in recognizing Biden as president-elect. Miller has said in a statement following the publication of the story, quote, "At no time has the department canceled or declined any interview after the mutually agreed upon holiday, which begins tomorrow. We will continue with transition and reschedule meetings from today." All right, guys. So Chris Miller, the secretary, is essentially saying, listen, this is something that we mutually agreed upon beforehand, and we have not declined any interviews, and we have not tried to get in the way or obstruct the transition process to the Biden transition team. Now, the Biden administration team is directly refuting that by saying that, hey, this was not mutually agreed upon, and they have basically been blindsided by this report. And they're saying that this is just more evidence that the Trump administration is trying to delay or hinder the Biden transition. Now, behind the scenes, the Trump administration left open the possibility cooperation would resume after a holiday pause. The officials were unsure what prompted Miller's action or whether President Trump approved. While it matters, Miller's move, which stunned officials throughout the Pentagon, was the biggest eruption yet of animus and mistrust towards the Biden team from the top level of the Trump administration. I think that's key because it is clear that people at the top of the Trump administration and the Biden transition team don't trust each other for obvious reasons. So regardless, I can imagine that behind closed doors, these transition meetings are probably not going smooth considering what the president is saying publicly and what Joe Biden is also saying publicly. Fury at the Biden team among senior Pentagon officials escalated after the Washington Post published a story on Wednesday night revealing how much money would be saved if Biden halted construction of Trump's border wall. Trump officials blamed the leak on Biden's transition team, though it should be noted they have no evidence of this, and both reporters on the byline covered the Trump administration and have historically been prolific beneficiaries of leaks. And I think there you have it, folks. Ding, 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 ding. Most times the answer is going to be a lot simpler than most people think. Now, the story that they're referring to is the Washington Post story here that I'm going to bring up. Now, the Trump administration is accusing the Biden transition team of leaking information regarding how much money the government would save if they halted the construction of the border wall. And the Washington Post is saying that it would save the U.S. $2.6 billion. The Pentagon estimate shows. Again, where could they have got that from? Obviously, President Trump would not want to leak information like this for obvious reasons. He wants to complete the border wall, and the wall essentially is a symbol of a crowning achievement under President Trump, in which he promised us that he would build that wall. So, and Joe Biden has come out repeatedly and said that he will stop building the wall. So from a strategic standpoint, politically, it would make sense for the Biden transition team to leak information like this, because essentially what that does is that it tells the public that, hey, this wall is costing us money, it's expensive, and we would save X amount of dollars if we just stop building it. Now, the article says the U.S. government would save about $2.6 billion if President-elect Joe Biden halts construction of the border wall project on his first day in office, according to U.S. Army Corps engineers' estimates reviewed by the Washington Post. Biden told reporters this summer he would not build, quote, another foot of border barriers. That became a symbol of the Trump presidency and one of the most expensive federal infrastructure projects in U.S. history. But the financial implications of a decision to stop work, including the cost to the government it will potentially occur, have not been publicly disclosed. There you go, guys. There you have it, right? They didn't want this information out there. Now, this is the type of information, sensitive information, that is being exchanged between the Trump Department of Defense and the Biden transition team. Now, the U.S. Army Corps commanders met with members of the Biden transition team last week to discuss the border wall project. Corps spokesman Rainey Brunson said she declined to comment on the estimates reviewed by the Post, referring additional questions to the president-elect's office. Bam! Again, ding, 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 ding. The Biden transition team met with the U.S. Army Corps last week to go over information that should not have been revealed to the public, but yet they took the information and leaked it for political purposes to show that, oh, if Biden comes in on the first day, again, if he takes office and stops the border wall, then it will save the government money, thus making him look good and also being a direct slap in the face to President Trump. I mean, let's be real. If Biden gets in there, again, big if, and on day one, he's like, I'm stopping the border wall funding and we're going to save X amount of money, and that's why I'm doing it, then that's a huge slap in the face of President Trump, because essentially it would be a promise unfulfilled because the wall wasn't actually ever completed. And we all know that the Democrats do not want the wall, right? I mean, they don't want the wall for the primary reason that they just don't want to have something that's a permanent structure that would essentially be a crowning achievement under the Trump administration. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. All right, so a little bit more here about the wall. The Trump administration obtained about $15 billion for the barrier project, enough to complete 738 miles of new fencing, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Just about 1/3 of the $15 billion was provided by Congress through the standard appropriations process. Trump took the rest from the Department of Defense narcotics program and military construction accounts. The U.S. Army Corps estimates showed there will be about $3.3 billion in unused funds in the project account on January 21st. Army Corps officials have engaged in a series of meetings in recent weeks about how to end the contracts and what can be legally done and when. So again, this is all PR. All PR. Biden's essentially saying, listen, first day I get in there, again, if he takes office, he's going to try to end it. While the Biden administration will have the ability to terminate or modify contracts with the construction firms building the barrier, those companies will be able to bill the government for demobilization fees that cover the withdrawal of crews, material, and equipment from the border. These fees are projected to add up to about $700 million according to estimates. All right, guys, so what's the takeaway here? I think the takeaway is pretty simple. You know, the right is partially right in the sense that Biden is compromised. Obviously, the Biden transition team can't be trusted with information from the Department of Defense without actually leaking the information like they did in regards to the cost to finish the wall. Now, Biden team obviously leaked this, or allegedly leaked this, for PR reasons, as a way to try to reverse the Trump presidency and try to, quite honestly, embarrass Trump. And I think this leak to the Washington Post was the first part of the PR campaign that they're trying to put up in regards to how they're essentially going to embarrass Trump and roll back everything that he's done throughout his presidency, like Biden has continuously said that he would try to do. So honestly, I mean, really, this is probably just Trump getting back at Biden and saying, you know what, if you're going to leak information like this, I'm just going to stop giving you information. And I mean, some of us might be like, well, hey, it's politics. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just kind of what it is. So that's my take on this. Could this have something to do with the so-called hackings from Russia or maybe China that has come out in recent days? Maybe. But I haven't seen anything personally to indicate that this has direct correlation to that yet. But if I do, I'll let you know. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.